Hey everybody, OMAD Dad here, back again with you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. Well, I often get asked questions. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. Well, I often get asked questions from you guys, the viewers of this channel, and most of the time they just require a simple one-line response, and I just put them in the comments below, or people contact me by email. But every now and then I'll get a question from someone that requires a little bit more explanation, and it gets kind of hard to type and text it out, or just sit there over a computer and trying to write a diatribe over how to proceed with their question. So one of the things that I want to do with this channel is I'm going to take some of the best questions that I get, and I'm going to incorporate them into a video for you guys. So hopefully we can all learn a little bit something from this, and we can share some of our experiences. And I hope it enriches you. And I won't use people's names unless they tell me not to. Or if somebody doesn't, if you still want to just contact me privately, I'll give you my email address and down below, or you can just send me shoot me a comment in the comment section, and I'll answer your question. But hopefully this will help round out some of the questions that you may have, and I want you to know that I'm approachable here for you. And some of those other guys that do their channels, I'm different from them in the sense that I don't charge, and I try to make time for everybody. I haven't had a problem so far. If it becomes a problem, then so be it. But I believe that fasting is something that is free, and I feel that the information should therefore be free. That's why I'm on YouTube doing this. I don't have a book that I'm writing. I don't have anything I'm selling. There's no courses to take. There's no no books to read. I'm just an average guy who is a father of two and married, who discovered OMAD. It changed my life, and I want to share that with you. These are my opinions. This is my experience. You may have something that's slightly different that you're working on. You may be having a slightly different experience, but we're all here to learn together. And I'm hoping that this experience and these series of videos help you in your journey, inspire you in some way. So let's get into it. This is from Alicia, and she writes, Dear OMAD Dad, I do OMAD 23-1, that's fasting for 23 hours a day with a 1 hour eating window, Monday through Saturday. And I have an 8-hour eating window, or a splurge day, on Sunday currently. The weekends are becoming hard to stick to OMAD because of my social life and my family structure. Would adding in a Saturday splurge window of another 8 hours of eating with 16 hours of fasting, I don't know if you can hear it, it's absolutely pouring right now in this car. Will adding this second day consecutively ruin my progress? What if instead of doing that, I added 2 extended fasts during the week? Say, for example, I took 2 days off completely from eating and ended up with, say, about a 36 or 40-hour fast. I normally, on my splurge days, eat 2 MAD, which is 2 meals a day, and I have about 15 pounds to go to my goal weight. Please help. Okay, I'm going to try and do this. It's really looking gloomy and rainy over here. I don't know if you can see any of the water coming down. But Alicia makes a really good point, and I have a few points to kind of go over. I don't know if you guys out there are having something similar happen, but let's go. Let's go right into it. Number one, and most importantly, is you have to go with what you can consistently stick with. There's nothing wrong with experimentation, but one thing that I found, and I've tried all the different variations, and I keep coming back to OMAD, and one of the reasons is when I have a longer eating window, I can pack away a lot of food, and it kind of takes away the whole benefits of OMAD. It takes away the benefit of people will say that calories don't count. They absolutely do count. And what I was finding was when I expanded out my eating window like that, it was almost turning into a binge. And I had to stop myself from that, but I learned a very valuable lesson, and I learned that it didn't really work for me particularly, but for other people it might, but especially those who eat and get full really fast. to have a larger window. These are people that tend to pick a little bit here and there, and it takes them about 4 or 5 hours to eat what normally somebody could probably put away in maybe an hour, hour and a half. But the whole point of the particular plan, the way I've outlined things here, and what we do is so that we can establish consistency. And consistency is what's going to win this in the game for you. If every little event in life causes you to go off the plan, then it's not going to work. You have to go with what you can consistently stick with. And with the options that you've chosen here, both are pretty respectable. I know for me, an extended fast is very difficult, and they are for other people. Some days you feel like you can fast for a week straight. Other days, it's a lot harder. You have to go by what works for you. And there's also other complications too with doing a longer fast. You can see my video on that, on extended fasts. They come with their own set of complications. I, for one, find it so much easier for myself if I just eat my one meal a day. I don't have to go, oh man, the next time I'm eating is Wednesday. But that's just me. Don't be afraid to experiment with this way of eating. If something isn't quite working for you, then just get rid of it or fix it in a certain way. But experiment. Oftentimes people are so afraid to say, well, let me try eating in a 4 or 5 hour window or an 8 hour window, or maybe 2 small meals a day, but only within 8 hours. They may find that works a little bit better for them than strict OMAD. They may find, like in my case, OMAD is the way to go with an occasional splurge day once every week or two. You have to experiment a little bit, and this is not like other diets in the sense that you read a 400-page book. These are the specific rules. This is the food you eat. This is when you eat it. It's all laid out for you. There's no thinking. It requires a little bit of experimentation, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you go up a pound or two, you don't have to worry about it, because you know that you can always come back to your base, and you will get that weight off. The weight will come off. The other thing you're going to want to be careful about here, Alicia, is your Mondays after having 2 larger consecutive windows. I've done this in the past too, and when it comes to Monday, I find that I'm like crazy hungry, and then it's harder for me to get back into eating one meal. It may not be that case for you, but what I found is that after I have even just one splurge day, when I want to get back into my OMAD the next day, it's hard. I'm able to do it, but it's a little bit of a struggle every time. Whereas once I get to the middle of the week and I've been doing OMAD for 3-4 days in a row, I could do it and it doesn't even faze me. So that's something you have to consider too with whatever option that you end up picking. Long fasts can be difficult, as I just mentioned. They do have their own sort of difficulties to them and their own little problems, and especially if you're going that long without having any electrolytes, some people become faint, dizzy, shaky. You would need to consume like water that had a little bit of salt in there or something like that, or you have something to get those electrolytes up. So that's another thing to consider. That's why I don't really recommend people doing extended fasts for that long, or if you are, that they're medically supervised, just so that you can be safe. Also, something to consider, do all of the social events and things that you go to with family require that you eat? I ask this because I know how it is. There's a lot of peer pressure, especially when it comes to family. I go over to a family member's house and they'll send me drinking water or just not eating anything because I already had my meal, or maybe I'm having my meal later. They'll offer food and I'll say no thank you. And a lot of times people get really offended by that, and even especially if they're your family, and it's like, well, what do you mean? You don't like my cooking? And no, it's not that. It's just not my time. So after a while and explaining this to my family, they've stopped asking. Not that they haven't stopped offering me food, but they understand my decision. They know that it's not my time. Just like in the sense that if I called them at 4 o'clock in the morning and wanted them to go out for some food with me, they'd probably hang up the phone. Or if they just finished their meal and I called them and said, hey, I've got a pizza, let's eat, they'd say some version of, I'm sorry, but it's not my time to eat, because they're full, because they already ate, whatever else, but it's not their time. And I don't push them, and they no longer push me. But often it's just expected that if we're in a social situation that we have to be drinking, have to be eating. And I would challenge to say that that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. I don't know your personal life. I don't know your situation specifically, but I would say that if, as I was saying before with the consistency issue, if you want to be consistent, if you want to make sure the weight stays off, if you want to, there's no problem with having splurge days. There's no problem with having fun with your family and doing things socially or even eating with them. But when it becomes an every week thing, you can slip back into that slippery slope of going backwards instead of forwards. So that's something to consider there too. And you'd be surprised, a lot of your friends and family, how supportive they will be when they see how hard you're working and what you're doing. And I've had nothing but support. I don't have anyone in my family or friend circle that thinks I'm crazy or anything yet. They're supportive, and they were a little concerned at first, but when you explain it to them and how it works and they see the results, they are actually quite inquisitive, and they want to know how they can do it too. So that's just something to consider. So I wish I could answer and tell everybody specifically what you should be doing, but the answer on a question for something like this is you really have to do a little bit of self-experimentation, see how it can fit and work into your lifestyle, and go from there. I, for one, am partial to doing OMAD every single day. It works for me. It's easy. I don't have to think about anything. I eat the foods that I want. I eat until I'm full, and I'm able to lose weight. And I'm healthy. All of my numbers have improved, as you've seen in my episode where I share with you my physical results from the year. So I don't have a problem. That's where I would stick. For you specifically, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go and do a little bit of experimentation. If it were for my choice, I would probably it would be easier for me to do the 2 smaller meals on the weekend and go off of OMAD. But again, don't be afraid to do some experimentation, and that goes for all of you guys too. So I hope this was helpful, and if you guys out there have any questions, anything that you're really not sure of, please feel free to leave me a comment or a question in the comment section below, or I will put up my email address right here, and you can send me an email if you want me to answer you personally. Again, if it's something like this where it's a really detailed answer and it's hard for me to just kind of go into detail within an email or in the comment section, then maybe it just will be the subject of the next video. So until the next time, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you're having a very happy OMAD, and I wish you all of the luck in the world on this program, and I will see you in the next video.